thought we could take a moment just to laugh at Spurs for what such a brilliant week they've had. Hey party people, over 12 here, and welcome to the 17th Suburban Gooner podcast, my age. We are without Chris again today. We've had some good excuses recently. He's been to Strictly Come Dancing, he's been brushing his teeth, but today's the best of all. He forgot it was today and's driving somewhere randomly down a dark road apparently. We do have Ben. How you doing, Ben?
Hello, Steve. How are you?
Not bad, thank you. And we have Alex, aka the _Beck_. Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Before we start, and we'll have a quick chat about the Munich game, then we'll talk about Sunderland. Before we start, I thought we could take a moment just to laugh at Spurs for what such a brilliant week they've had. So it makes everything that's dark lighter, unlike them in our shadows. So straight on to the Munich game then. What did you think of it, Alex?
When we got drawn in Munich, I thought, we need to play the best to beat the best. But the closer it got, I thought, fucking hell, I don't want to play the best right now. We have so many injuries, we have so much problems. So I was kind of expecting us to lose over the two legs. I wasn't expecting us to lose at home. But with the way the game went, I couldn't really argue. I mean, the sending off was very harsh, and they're gonna change the rule now. They want to change the rule. They want to choose the rule after we get fucked over. Okay, that's great. I mean, that's great. Of course, after Arsenal gets screwed over, just change the rules. But so after that, we tried our best to keep it 0-0. But that Tony Cruz shot, I mean, there's nothing you could have done. We could have defended it a bit better, but really, it's against Bayern Munich. So after that, we didn't go into a free fall. We kept on as best as we could, but we couldn't. And
I agree, and it was a real shame because, like you say about the ruling kind of stuff, because it was looking to be a really good game for both teams when it was 11v11, and the sending off just kind of ruined it as a.
For me, what was really weird was, like, every game that passes, I don't really have an overreaction about each player. So when Ozil, for example, all this Ozil crap that's going on in the media, I never even thought at all in the game Ozil's having an awful game. I never thought, because the whole point is everyone knows he needs to have players to run off him. Everyone knows he's a great passer. He's not going to just take the game by the scruff of the neck and start blasting it from 40 yards out. He's not that player, So when we went down to 10 man, I didn't know why he was on the field, but he had to be. You can't just take him off because he's the best possession player that we have. So he wasn't going to shine. Okay, he was going to spend most of his time tracking back and defending, and it wasn't going to look pretty. And we are going to have some games like that if we have a player sent off, or if we don't have a player that can run past him. And it's already bad enough with Walcott out and Ramsey out. So with 10 men, it was just going to get harder. And so I like those things. I just let them slide until the next game and see what you can do. Because the game before that against Liverpool, I mean, his pass won us the game.
Yeah, to the Orcs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really that worried about his form, and his miss. If it plays a psychological part on the next couple of games, it's horrible. But I think he can get over it. He's a professional, and he'll do it. He got a rest as well.
Yeah, and I think you're right. 11 against 11, he looked really up for it. Actually, he looked like he was going to have a really good game. So it's a real shame. I completely agree. He's not somebody who's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and shine in a 10v11. But you're right. Yeah, I think he was kept on the pitch because when he gets the ball, he can travel with the ball and keep it for a prolonged period of time.
He can keep it against three players, and that's what we needed. Even if it looked bad, it doesn't have to look good in front of people. If it got us through the game, that's what's good. In the end, we didn't manage to. We managed to keep the. When did they score the first goal? 60 minutes, 60 or.
I think
the
it was
Tony
around
Cruz
then,
goal.
yeah.
Yeah,
think
I mean
it was around.
we managed to keep it at least 0-0 after half time at least.
Mm.
How about
So
you, Ben, when you finally got a seat next to a steward because someone was in yours and they wouldn't move him?
Yeah, pesky Arsenal supporter. No, yeah, just to sort of echo really what Alex said. Sort of, I was frustrated how the loss occurred rather than the loss itself, because as Alex said, at the end of the day, it's Bayern Munich. We had the sort of the 20-minute spell, didn't we, where we looked very dangerous. Sanogo, with that sublime bit of play, we sort of received the ball spun, almost like a spinning top, and then slid the ball through. And it was like, wow, actually, he's actually quite good, isn't he? And then obviously the Szczesny goes, and then there was just that air of inevitability when they were going to score, which it wasn't really pleasant to sort of, because I don't know, you just sort of felt something was going to happen. But what Alex sort of said on Ozil was interesting, because I felt in the first 20 minutes that was our Mesut Ozil at his best. Do you know what I mean? He was our sort of catalyst. He was picking up the ball. He was making the possession sort of fast and flowing. And Bayern didn't have a clue. For that first 20 minutes, they were really on the rack. And then unfortunately missed that penalty. And I think it did throw him for a bit. It took him sort of 5 minutes to get back into the game. But after that, he wanted to take charge. And it was interesting because we haven't really seen him try to do that. But Bayern was so good at isolating our players. When we were sort of going forward, they were blocking our sort of attacking zones, and there's nothing you could do. Even Mesut Ozil, who can hold off 3 players, he can't pass it through 4 or 5 players.
No.
No one can do that. It's impossible. But as I was walking out of the game, I don't really want to get involved in this Ozil stuff because, as Alex has already said, it's just utter tosh. But this guy he was really going, oh, he's rubbish, he's this. I don't understand how a player can go from being world class and then 90 minutes later being total dog shit.
not
I
even
don't
world class, the best in his position in the world. That's what he
exactly.
is. He still
That
is
is
that.
it.
He
He
was that
is.
before the game. He is after the game. People
Amen.
have bad games. People have bad games, and
And
fans don't cope well to it. These
no,
fans still don't have the mental strength. They're the ones who need it the most.
yeah, no, you're right. It was interesting because they sort of switched Ozil to the left because he took Santi off because he wasn't tracking Lahm. That's why Santi was sacrificed. And people were sort of saying Ozil wasn't tracking, but they're not looking at other players. They just, it's very frustrating
But
they need a
and it
scapegoat,
should be
don't they?
shared. Yeah, but the thing is, like for example, when we play top opposition, I think a lot of fans have struggled to admit we were actually beaten by a much better team.
Oh, yeah.
Bayern are a completed article, barring Lewandowski.
Mm.
And they don't even need him right now. They might not
No,
beat they might not beat a team at the best every 10 out of 10, but they might be almost complete with Lewandowski. You know,
oh,
Mandzukic is playing such a strong role for them. And all he's doing is he was still poorer than Sonogo, but
yeah, he was.
he
Yeah.
creates space for the others to make a difference. And maybe we miss Giroud a bit. Of course, every game without Giroud, we'd miss, even if we don't even see it properly.
Mm.
Um, but I think we got beat against a better team, and the person who made the mistake obviously was Szczesny. He came out and he didn't get the ball.
No.
And on the other hand, on the side, Neuer, he got the ball against Chamberlain.
Yep.
And it's stuff like that makes in Champions League. It's the top level. The smallest mistakes you get completely or luck, but you get completely it's very costly. So
Mm. It's that football
happens.
magic, isn't it?
Yeah.
You forget that, because I was on the train and I was reading 442, and they had this fantastic article on Bayern, talking about from everything from training to the tea lady to Pep Guardiola to Javi Martinez, to everything you can think of, and it was just fascinating just to read. They're ahead of us, aren't they? Like you said, they're the finished article, almost the finished article in where they want to be when building a team, and it was magnificent to watch Guardiola's take on possession football, the way that he had elements of Barcelona in there, the way they had their set sort of moves. I can't think Alex, you might know what it's called, but you know when Iniesta gets the ball played to his feet, and he flicks it to the right, and then spins and wants it back. There was lots of that element to it where they were working the ball in triangles to try and feed in Gortz or Ribéry, who was
But that's what Guardiola wanted to do. You know, he wanted to take the triangle tiki-taka elements and add the German power and pace.
Yeah.
So you have a bit of technical football, you have a bit of power, and if you combine it, that's what's going to create like the best Mercedes you can imagine.
Oh, amen.
Ben Ribéry wasn't there.
Oh, sorry, I meant Robin.
Ribéry wasn't there, but
Yeah.
Götze and Robin, they're enough trouble as it is. You know, Robin is one of those bastards. He's so slippery. He's so fast. You know, he's lightning fast, and he's like 30 years old. He's 29, 30. You know, he's always going to be dangerous for us, and he's always going to be like a player who's half cheating, half brilliant. You know,
he's so good.
Yeah, and
it's just the way that Pep made them. They were altering as every time they got the ball, they were swapping like all over the place. At one point, they had two at the back, and then Robin was tucking in next to Mandzukic, and it was just as a spectacle. Obviously, take the Arsenal element.
It's always
fantastic.
hard to take a defeat, but I always when we lose a game, I always try to imagine what it'd be like if we had our full squad, you know, and having Walcott on there, a fully fit Walcott, and a fully fit
Walcott and Chamberlain on either wing.
Exactly, and Ramsey, you know, if we had our entire team and Gibbs makes a massive difference when bombing forward. You know, if we had them, I don't see how much I don't think we would have struggled as much as we did. You know, and even if Bayern Munich, if we had Robin on our team, completely different result. You know, it's those things that get you, and it wasn't meant to be. Maybe we can beat them at the Allianz, but this time I don't think we can.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We definitely need an early goal. If we get an early goal, it's kind of game on. But
do you think we can score 3 goals?
That's the thing, because you can't imagine not conceding, can you, against Bayern Munich? I mean, I know we've got a very good defence, but they are one hell of a side.
Ribéry will be back from his butt surgery by the time we play them.
Before we move on, guys, I think we'll move on to Sunderland. I mean, I just want to do a bit of a thank you, I suppose, to Red Action, because those cards at the beginning, actually, I thought that made a great thing for the atmosphere. When we got to our seats and held that was brilliant. It actually gave me goosebumps. Did you manage to do that, Ben, if you didn't have a seat?
Yeah. We were early anyway, weren't we? Because they asked us to want to get into sort of like 22. But yeah, like you said, it was fantastic. And I was out in the East Upper, so we had the overspill of Bayern fans with us, and even they were like, that obviously there's some of them could speak better English than others, but even they were saying how fantastic it was, and it was just fantastic because it was interesting. They were on what podcast I was listening to it, but they had one of the guys on there on the podcast. He was talking about it, and he was saying how it depends on where the fans are mentally to whether they can do this sort of thing. Because obviously, if we were to go out, they're not going to do this when we're playing. I don't know who we've got coming up. Like say Stoke, they're not going to do it at Stoke, are they? Do you know what I mean? Pull that out of Stoke, but no, it's fantastic, and it was fair play to them.
We should pull out a finger at Stoke.
Yeah.
So going on to Sunderland, then we wanted obviously a reaction from the team. I mean, they played really well, but it was a bit hard to judge. It was a bit easy, wasn't it?
I thought the first goal. I thought at first it was a mistake. You know, I thought Wilshere hit one of the players, but did it touch up another player before it got to Giroud?
I think it's one of those. It's hard to tell. Some angles it looks like Wilshere's kind of moved to pass it. I think they might have both connected at the same time or something.
Because when I saw it on replay, when people were analysing it, they were calling it a brilliant reverse ball, and I could see Wilshere doing that. It's not like I can't see him doing that, but it was one of those things that's maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But I was really happy Giroud just quickly got on the scoring sheet again. You know, he's one of the most. Of course, he's a striker. He's one of the most people in the team that needs the confidence right now. You know, especially after his personal life that has been overblown, and it's always good to see a striker getting a scoring sheet. You know,
and then he got a nice little gifted package for the second.
Yeah, that was still a brilliant finish. But yeah, what a gift! I mean, But for me, the favourite one was seeing Arsenal in full flow. You know, we were playing the
goal.
Arsenal
Yes,
way. Yeah, it was
That's
just beautiful.
fantastic.
that was a
Brzezinski,
fantastic goal.
he was electric. He started the move like it was we knew he was going to score. It was like watching on replay somehow. And Giroud's little flick. People just don't care about those things, but it's so important to have that in a team.
Yeah,
That you can just flick it on so beautifully, exactly where the player wants it.
yeah.
And the
I
way
think
Rizky just burst speed and just flicked it over, it was just beautiful.
yeah, he's one of those players with Itsky where it's just such a shame about his injuries over the years because
Yeah.
he's absolutely brilliant. And speaking of Giroud, he's another player like we say about Özil that needs those runners because of his flicks and he holds up the ball. He's waiting for people to move in beyond him. And when we've
Yeah.
got that happening, and then it's great. I mean, we've been treated to a couple of great goals. Think of Wilshire's goal against Norwich and then Rosicki's goal. This weekend we've been treated to some real class football and some great goals.
Oh, yeah.
And it was nice that it was in front of Mr. Burkamp as well.
It was
He was just behind us actually in the director's box, so
yeah.
he
And
waved towards my area. I'm going to say it was me. He waved at me.
The thing that's interesting about Giroud is like right now he's on Premiership goals. He's 12 out of 25. Okay, and that is almost 50%. Okay, I'll say that's 48% to be exact. Okay, that's usually what we want out of a striker. But because of all the other strikers in the league who are just scoring like crazy, Sturridge, Suarez, Aguero, even Negredo at times, because they're getting all these goals, people look at him and think, oh my god, he needs to do this. Okay, every striker is different. We go through this every week. Every striker is different. Every striker plays a different role, and he does miss, and he will miss more. He's not going to be a striker who's going to score 10 out of 10. But what he will give you that these other strikers won't is those kind of balls.
Yeah.
And at times, I mean, when I heard Wenger speak about how he wanted someone to play with Giroud, even in summer when he wanted to buy someone else, seeing the balls that Suarez played to Sturridge today, I mean, if we are one or two players away from being a really, really fantastic side.
Well, we saw that, didn't we, against Bayern for the first 20 minutes, and like Alex said, that we're missing 2 or 3 players that would have played. And it's fine margins, isn't it? At that top level, it's fine margins. And if we had Walcott and
you can argue that Walker and Ramsey are one of our 3 or top 2, top 4 best players.
I'd agree with you. I'd say they are.
Yeah, definitely this season, without a doubt. Ramsey's been immense. You kind of. I suppose if you look at City and their midfield, it'd be like taking Yaya Toure out because he's been their stand-up midfield.
Yeah, precisely. It would be like taking Toure and possibly like who's a Navas then, but Walcott scores more than Navas. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've struggled without Fernandinho, haven't they? Because
they struggled so much.
Yes, exactly. You see that. You saw what they did. They had to put Di Michaelis in. Thank God we haven't got someone like Di Michaelis. Like putting a traffic cone in midfield, it's ridiculous. But
what do you guys think of it? It seems that Wenger doesn't want to play, even when Ozil isn't playing, he doesn't play Santi down the middle. I think he did towards the end of the game at the weekend, but generally, even if Ozil hasn't been playing, he hasn't played Santi down the middle, despite how well he played there last season.
Didn't we play Wilshere there? And it wasn't a mix of Santi, Wilshere, and Rosicky.
Yeah, it was more fluid.
Yeah, it really confused Sunderland. They were lost.
Yeah.
I think that's what he wants us to. I think what he was trying to do was like Napoli, where the 3 just basically go where they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the way we play now, and I think that's what he wants. I think you've kind of got to accept that they don't have set positions in midfield.
Yeah, I mean, fans always think of players as a set position and set roles and stereotype requirements and jobs for them. We don't really have that much. Walcott was supposed to be a right midfielder or a striker or a winger. He dabbles in everything at times. Chamberlain, you can put him everywhere you want.
Yeah. Literally anywhere.
Literally anywhere. Giroud isn't really a striker. He's more of a centre forward, but He can play. You can argue whatever you want. He's defensive. He's a defensive striker, if you can call him that. We have Podolski, who isn't. We don't know. We can't call him a winger. We can't call him a striker. He's in between somewhere, and he's not. He's. I mean, I think a 4-4-2 would suit him, but it's not. If it's not meant to be at Arsenal, it's not meant to be. I'd really like him to stay, but it's all the same old, same old, same old. And we have Santi, he's not really an attacking midfielder who can give you perfect through balls, and is not really a winger. He's in between. He's a Spanish maestro player.
Yeah.
And if we can find ways to accommodate those players on the pitch, if they circulate around the pitch and swap positions, then that's perfect.
I'd like to mention Bakary Sagna actually about the weekend, who actually played three positions.
That was amazing.
Magnificent.
And played really well in both of them. And it's a real shame that, the closer we get to the end of the season, it's becoming more likely that he's going to go. But we probably have to sign one or probably two players to replace him if he does leave, because he does give us that option at the back. I don't know if either of you have heard any more about the injuries. Last I heard that they were hopeful Monreal and Koscielny were fine.
Oh, they were fine. They're fine. They're going to be back. They're back for the next game.
Yeah.
Which is the Orcs of Stoke.
Yeah.
The Orcs of Stoke. It's interesting, just what you were saying on Sagna, Steve, there. It's a shame, isn't it? Because we've got a base of something amazing. And if he was to leave, then that would sort of scupper the almost transfer business, wouldn't it? Whereas maybe, I don't know, let's player X he wanted to sign. Let's not mention names because people would go crazy. But player X he wanted to sign. It might have to be changed because we need people in sort of defence or whatever. So
it
does
make it interesting.
Right backs are usually very cheap though. So I'm not sure we have to worry about that much. But I know what you mean. I mean, it might change some stuff.
I think the worry is that if he leaves, we need to sign a right back, potentially a fourth choice centre back. If
we might have
the
to
two goalies go, we're going to need a goalie as well. If Viviano and Fabianski leave.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of trying to say. Is that we in my head we sort of need someone in maybe possibly midfield.
Yeah.
And obviously, if we can get another striker, that would be fantastic. But if all the sort of defence starts going, then we're going to sort of have to do that as well. And I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to just wait because perception at Arsenal changes so fast.
Yeah.
Last year, if you told me 2 or 3 years ago that we'd be happy to have Szczęsny as number 1 and Fabianski as number 2, actually happy and content with that, I would call you crazy.
Yeah.
I would call you insane.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm every player that has gone through a transformation, and that's why I don't bet against them anymore. I don't ever think, oh my god, he's not going to make it. I always think, even with the likes of Jenkinson, he doesn't look like his Arsenal quality, top level, but I don't bet against him making it because people just get a vein of form, and suddenly that vein of form is who they are now. So
yeah.
Well, Ramsey, case in point.
I'd say, what if we told you Ramsey would be in there as well? As our best.
I've seen a lot of tweets this today. I mean, people retweet a lot of old tweets, which I don't really like that much. I don't find them that funny, but some tweets are just gold. Someone tweeted how this United fan was measuring. Wenger was saying that in the summer, Wenger was saying we couldn't buy better players than we already have, and everyone was making fun of him. And then this United fan and Spurs fans were saying, well, how about Chadley, Soldado, and then I'm just thinking at that time, many might have been, oh my god, who would improve our team because this blah blah blah, but it just takes you just have to have a bit of patience when it comes to saying who is better and who isn't. No one knew Negredo would be in the vein of form he's been in, but at the same time he's playing with the world's best players. There's no excuse for him not scoring. Man City players don't have an excuse for losing or drawing at Norwich or whatnot. They don't have excuses for that. We do. They don't. But they get the excuses somehow. Chelsea don't have an excuse for drawing at home to West Ham. We would have those excuses, but they don't. And they don't get questions for it, but we would.
Yeah. Speaking of Chelsea, that was annoying, wasn't it?
Oh my god.
Scabbed it at the end. Oh, and when you see it as well, it looks more like a Howard blunder than a Terry goal, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't a blunder. It was a blunder.
Yeah,
He
it
didn't.
was.
He didn't. He should have just moved towards it. I mean, I can't. I'm not a goalkeeper, but I mean, it looked like he should have moved towards it and just punched it away, or just anything, anything
Yeah,
but that.
anything
Kicked
except what he
it.
did.
Oh,
So, we've seen on Twitter today about all the lovely fans of Stoke saying that they're going to give us crap for Ramsey because obviously they were the victims in that situation.
They suffered so much. I mean,
I know it's
they had to
sad for
watch
them.
someone else's player get his leg broken. That's so traumatic. And they have to watch their player get a red card. Oh my god, I can't believe it. He got a red card. How I feel so much. I feel sorry for him. And then that team, that wonderful team, the beautiful, beautiful Stoke team, they lost. They lost 3-1. And then, oh, someone told them to shush. Oh, was it Fabregas, the same guy who spat at them in the tunnel? Oh yeah, that's. I mean, it's so sad. I have so much love for Stoke, like we all do.
So we hope we trounce them. I really hope we trounce them because you just see that
Is it
stuff. And
away?
it's just, oh yeah, it's away.
It's away.
It's
So
at
what do you think the lineup will be, Alex?
The lineup is going to be Santi, Giroud, Ozil,
How do you think?
Wilshere, Arteta, Flemini. Gibbs should be back. Gibbs, Pierre, Koscielny, Sanya, and Szczesny. The reason I think we'll go with Flemini, Arteta is because of Stoke.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the only reason why. It's not really a good reason why, but Flemini's a battler. They wouldn't beat him up. They wouldn't dare.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Was the Stoke game where he threatened to blind someone?
I think it was a joke, and they took it seriously.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the Stoke game, wasn't it? I think that's brilliant.
Was it? That'd be great. That'd be great.
How about you, Ben? What do you think the lineup would be?
Yeah, I think I've got to sort of echo what Alex said there, really. But I thought Wilshere did well at the weekend and against Bayern, so it'll be hard to leave him out unless they put him in more an advanced position. But I think I agree with having Arteta and Flamini in there just for the fight. So
we can always bring on Chamberlain. We can always bring on Chamberlain to shake things up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and I think we will.
Yeah, what's sure is we've got enough and we'll win the game. So I'm not so worried really. I've seen them recently, and Hughes has tried to mould them into something that they're not. He hasn't quite got the players, so
you're exactly right. And they're half and half. They're trying to be half the old Stoke and half something new, something else, and they've just lost their identity.
Yes. Yeah. So hopefully another sort of Sunderland where we can sort of get it done quickly and make it look a lot easier. Because let's be honest, Sunderland turned up with little to no resistance at all and just got turned over. So let's just hope that, obviously, because they've got the eye on the Capital One Cup.
Yeah, it did feel like Sunderland didn't want to be there, but it's our job to make sure that they regret it even more.
Yes, yes. What do you think, Steve?
Where is Stoke sitting in the table at the moment?
They're underground. They're they're in the underworld.
Let's have a look. I'm just bringing it up on my phone. They are
15th.
Oh wow, 15th. Yeah,
that's pretty high for Orcs.
So they are. They're only Sunderland 18th on 24 points, and Stoke 15th on 27.
You know, technically they're in a relegation battle.
Yes, that's brilliant.
So
I just hope we embarrass them.
Who do you think's going to go down?
Me?
That's interesting, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. That's for it's past 9 o'clock. Yeah, we can talk about all that sort of stuff.
Who do I think could go down? Well, Fulham are looking quite likely, despite the fact that they've supposedly got this super manager that keeps everyone up.
He's a nutcase. I think he's going to be brilliant. Well,
he looks like a meth dealer.
He does. He does. I'm just disappointed Berbatov isn't there, because I would have loved to see them sort of clash. That would have been brilliant.
Cardiff are looking likely, aren't they? Which is a shame.
None of Solskjaer's purchased players have actually played that well or played that much.
The
if they
baby
get
face of Saturn has
if they get
aged.
any sort of rhythm, then I don't know. You can't tell anymore because there's so many in the relegation battle. It's like a complete lottery.
It's crazy, isn't it? I think if you look at the teams that came up, I think Hull should be fine. I think they've done some real good business. Long and Yelovich look
Steve
like they're
Bruce
working really well together.
knows the league really well.
Yeah. But yeah, really don't know because, like you say, Fulham, they win a couple of games and they're up to 26 points, and that's 16th at the moment.
The next 3 games, I'll tell you. I can't tell you now. It's too difficult. Because Swansea and Villa are free falling. Norwich just won, so they've got the confidence back up. Stoke, if they lose next week, then they could slide back in.
Did Norwich win?
Norwich won
Norwich
against
won, yeah.
Spurs.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
No.
though, Crystal Palace have got a big say at either end of the table.
Yeah.
They've got to play Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and they play Fulham on the last day. And they've got to play Cardiff. So they've got a big say at either end of the table they have. So that'll be one to watch.
If Fulham in any way gets safe, that's got to be some kind of voodoo crazy old man McGath thing. He's probably drugging everyone else with meth. That's what he's doing.
All the opposition, yeah.
Yeah. Meth lasagna.
Yeah.
Before we because we're coming towards the end now, guys. Before we close off, have you both seen the Bergkamp statue?
Yes.
What do you think of it, Alex?
Well, at first I thought, why has he got a giant pole up his bum? But after a while, I realized that was the only way they could do it cheaply without having floating. They don't believe in virtual reality. So I thought it was amazing. I mean, that touch was special, and yeah, Bergkamp's one of those players. No matter how many years will go by, he'll always be very, very special in the memories of fans.
Yeah.
And we remember him by so many different things. Like his class, his veneer, his attitude, his loyalty, just like Wenger said. And that's what makes Arsenal special, what we do to our players when they leave and stuff like that. Other clubs do statues for Michael Jackson and stuff. We know that, right? so I'm just so happy and so proud of our club and what we do. And I just hope that people can take more experiences from that and realize that's what it's about, supporting a club.
Yeah.
It's not about sitting frantically at a TV screen 24/7, being angry and nervous and tweeting about it and getting in an argument with other fans or the same fans. Sometimes it's just about enjoying what you have and what your club believes in and what they're doing and what they've done. And it's just a nice feeling just to think about that, So yeah, that's what I think about Bergkamp.
How about you, Ben? What do you think of the statue? Do you think it looks like him, Ben?
I think it's all right.
I think it looks like a statue.
I'm really taken back by the pole.
Yeah.
But they had to put that there because the statue actually floats. So they had to put it there to sort of make him seem more human than he really is. Just to sort of give all the other statues a chance. I don't know. But it's just Bergkamp was... I remember sort of watching him as a kid and he just seemed light years ahead, didn't he? I can't even put it into words. He just could feel it, couldn't he? He could feel what he had to do. He was like the guy from Bernard's Watch, wasn't he? Like he just stopped it and he could have a look around, he could sit down, have a cup of tea and then start it again. And one of my favourite moments was against Portsmouth. There's obviously the goal against Newcastle and the sort of flick he did to Lundberg, that are sort of key moments. But one of my favourites was against Portsmouth, where we sort of stroked the ball around. It seemed like for 90 minutes and they didn't even come